Bayern Munich are ready to break the bank for Luis Díaz, and the fee might blow your mind. Meanwhile, Chelsea strike again with another exciting signing. PSG find a surprise replacement for Donnarumma, and João Félix might be heading to Saudi Arabia? All that and loads more in today's episode. But before we get into it, as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Ready? Let's jump into the latest transfer rumors. Chelsea are so close to a huge win here, and yet they're still out here playing transfer bingo. Talks with Xavi Simons? Already happening. Word is a deal's basically in place. But instead of sealing it and relaxing, the board goes, yeah, let's grab another winger too. You never know. That's pure bully. Buy first, ask questions later. Doesn't matter if they're starters, loanees, or future Strasbourg legends, just sign them all. Simons, though, already mentally in London. Insiders say the 21-year-old Dutchman's buzzing about Maresca's vision, and totally cool with the wages. Funny thing is, he just made the Leipzig move permanent in January for £44 million. And now they're flipping him for around £60 million. Crazy. But the stats don't lie. 11 goals, 8 assists in 33 matches. He's played left wing, number 10, even dropped deep to build play. And the guy decides games, something Chelsea were crying out for last season. Remember when they couldn't score past Bournemouth with 30 shots? So why is Leipzig letting him go already? Easy, that's their whole model. RB's not a football club, it's a resale machine. Develop, hype, cash in. The higher the price, the bigger the boardroom smiles. Now the kicker, while everyone's waiting for Simons to be unveiled, Chelsea are also chasing another winger. Why? Maybe Maresca wants backups, or maybe no one at Chelsea knows who's starting and who's just here for physio sessions. Or maybe, just maybe, it's insurance. What if Simons backs out? What if Leipzig ups the price last minute to £75 million? Everything's still in the air. And speaking of presentations, I've got one too. For all you silent viewers who never subscribe, I see you. You're like Chelsea scouts, always watching, never signing. How about changing that? Hit subscribe, it's free, unlike Simons. Right now, someone in London's prepping the real show. Not the cheesy shirt-holding bit, but the interview where Simon sits down and says he's dreamt of the Prem ever since seeing Robin destroy Spurs at the Bridge. Xavi Simons, almost a blue, but until the pen hits the paper, anything's still possible. This summer's striker market was like a fireworks party, bright, boisterous, and stuffed with millions flying all over the place. Some transfers went through, some flopped, and some ended up losing a suitcase of hope and half a paycheck. And Dusan Vlahovic? He basically walked into that party, found the darkest corner, grabbed a canapé plate, and stood there watching. Nobody's calling his name, and he's not exactly pushing to join. This is no name either. He's Serie A's highest paid player, earning €12 million net per year. Even the Italian taxman deserves a standing ovation. Here we are at the end of July, and Vlahovic is still at Juventus. It's the classic case. How important are you really versus how important you think you are? Especially when you're 25, once tearing defenses apart at Fiorentina, then move to Juve and your career hits the pause button for about 3 years. But suddenly there's a glimmer of hope. Multiple sources now report that Juventus and AC Milan have held talks over a potential move. Max Allegri, back in charge at the Rossoneri, is said to want his old acquaintance back. Allegri's returned to Milan and immediately went for the same player he once froze out at Juve. It's like a movie. Realizes he lost someone, now on a mission to get them back. Vlahovic reportedly wants in too, but here's the snag. The sloth in the room, or more accurately on the bank account, is his salary, €12 million a year. Milan only hands out wages like that if you're simultaneously Maldini, Shevchenko, and Zlatan with Mbappe's passport. Or they simply don't pay. Vlahovic isn't keen to lower his demands. Want him? Pay. Or pay the difference. Or maybe Juventus tops up his wages just to send him away. Fabulous business. Pay someone to leave. His contract expires next summer, so Juve would be fine with getting something. We're talking about €20 million here. Modest given what they paid for him. Still, the fact Juve and Milan have even started talking is headline-worthy, and they're doing it quietly, through intermediaries. Maybe you'd take him? Well, it may be. But with a lighter wage and price, please? Right now, it sounds like someone's blowing onto embers. Pouring more fuel on the fire is Manchester United. The Red Devils are apparently keen too, especially as they look to clear their wide fat. Sancho, Antony, Garnacho, they're on the way out. So they need a center forward fast. Along comes Vlahovic, €20 million plus a birthday cake. But United aren't what they were. Money? Sure. Decision-making? Less so. Buying a striker who spent more time warming Juve's bench than playing on the field? So for now, everything is hypothetical. But the interest is real. Reports even say VLAHOVIC himself would happily slip away somewhere, anywhere, just so he can feel like a proper striker again, not just a well-paid prop. On one hand, a 25-year-old with top-level tools, a brilliant left foot, strength to bully defenders. On the other, a season at Juve where he pretty much evaporated. Now it's decision time. Milan could reboot his career, United might risk him becoming another heavy asset, or he stays put in Turin. The options are many, each with ups and downs. Also, if you're watching, don't leave without dropping your take in the comments. What path do you see for VLAHOVIC? It helps the channel so much. Hit the thumbs up or down now, we'd be grateful. Bottom line, the clock's ticking. Just over a month remains in the transfer window. If Dusan doesn't move, our next video might well be titled, "Where did the once promising Serbian striker go?" But right now, there's interest, there's movement, and maybe VLAHOVIC will make this transfer party after all, just fashionably late. Looks like PSG have had enough of the drama and just decided to swap one goalkeeper for another, younger, cheaper, and without the Italian accent. According to L'Équipe, the Parisians have already agreed personal terms with Lucas Chevalier and are ready to hand him a 5-year deal. Yep, the same Chevalier who, just a few months ago, was Lille's keeper of the future, and now he's PSG's keeper of the future. Call it progress. Luis Campos has had his eye on Chevalier for a while. PSG were scouting him as far back as last year when he was bailing Lille out with clutch saves every week. Back then it was just monitoring. Now it's done and dusted. Why now? Because Donnarumma still hasn't signed a new contract, and Galatasaray are sending offers like he's an all-inclusive holiday deal in Antalya. If Gigio suddenly decides he wants out, PSG won't be caught off guard. They've already lined up Plan B, a 23-year-old Frenchman who conceded fewer goals than Donnarumma last season, and doesn't turn every cross into a one-man theater act. The price? 40 million euros. Pricey for a keeper. But for PSG, that's pocket change. Lille's president Olivier Letang has already said that's the minimum. And you know what? He might actually mean it. Lille are already hunting for a replacement abroad. The deal's pretty much done. PSG just need to pick up the phone and say, "Yep, we'll take him." There's just one catch. Chevalier himself isn't exactly in a rush. He's happy at Lille, playing regularly, and would be fine staying another year. But when Paris calls, that's a different conversation. Aston Villa also tried to get involved. They're thinking about life after Emi Martinez, and Chevalier looked like the perfect fit. But they were too slow. While Villa were still negotiating, Lucas had already shaken hands with Campos. So now it's not Birmingham but Paris. Not Emi, but Ousmane. Not a fight for the Europa League, but a push for the Champions League. Not bad. And now, the real question. What happens to Donnarumma? He says he wants to stay, but his contract runs out in 2026. That's not, let's see how it goes. That's sign or walk. If he doesn't commit, Chevalier won't be the backup plan. He'll be the plan. Younger, cheaper, maybe even more reliable. Because while Donnarumma can go from saving the world against Arsenal to conceding at his near post against Clermont, Chevalier just gets the job done. No theatrics, no drama, no £500,000 a week wages. This might not just be a transfer, it might be the end of an era, the one where PSG bought stars instead of goalkeepers, where the man between the sticks could be the hero and the villain in the same 45 minutes, and maybe, just maybe, it's the start of a new era. Less flair, more function, no more Donnarumma. Welcome, Chevalier. Luis Díaz is getting closer and closer to leaving Anfield. Liverpool look ready to part ways with one of their most exciting players of recent years. And this isn't some vague rumor anymore. Bayern Munich are nearly done with it. They're offering 75 million euros, and for the first time, the Reds seem open to accepting something under 80 million euros. The player wants out. The club isn't exactly thrilled to lose him, but they know forcing him to stay might end up doing more harm than good. And Díaz? He's handling it like an absolute gentleman. No drama, no interviews saying, "I don't feel the trust anymore," or "My inner warrior seeks change." None of that. He just quietly didn't make the squad for the Milan game, and that was enough to make things clear. Arne Slot confirmed he's fit, just not in the squad. Feels like saying he's not fired, he just went to the shop and didn't come back. The club doesn't want to risk him getting injured out of nowhere and wrecking a potential 75 million euro transfer. What's Díaz doing meanwhile? Not sulking at the training ground, not faking a back injury. He's out there, touring Asia with the team, just not playing. Autographs, meet and greets, still fine, apparently. especially if you're days away from tossing that red polo in the drawer and pulling out that Bayern number 4 with the Telecom logo. And here's where it gets fun. Diaz's story is closely tied to Liverpool's top target, Alexander Isak. Unlike Diaz, Isak politely asked not to travel with Newcastle to Asia. Didn't want to pose with a fake smile for press shots saying, "I'm staying." He's just quietly waiting for a possible move to Anfield. It's basically a winger for striker swap. But not just anyone. Isak fits Slot's football, mobile, intense, and way more centrally focused than Diaz, who's your classic touchline dribbler with scissors, but not much contribution to structure. And here I am trying to trade your views for subscriptions, but this deal's stuck. You're like Newcastle with Isak, refusing to give up your just watching status. But unlike a multi-million-pound deal, this subscription is free. So don't be that guy. Hit subscribe. I'll use it wisely, I promise, just to make more videos. Now let's talk Bayern. Vincent Kompany seems to get it. Musiala's injured and he needs someone who'll just step on the pitch and do it all. Dribbling, shooting, being everywhere, Diaz fits the bill. Stick him out wide or behind the striker, he won't complain, he'll just graft. He's 28, prime years. Not some raw teenager, but not an aging risk either. 75 million euros isn't cheap, but for a player like Diaz, that's what you pay today. Whether it's him or someone like Adeyemi. Everyone chooses their risk. For Liverpool, though, this isn't just about the money. It's about squad flexibility. His contract's got 2 years left. If you're not renewing, you either sell now or watch his value crash and end up flogging him to Saudi Arabia with a new challenge tagline. Signing Isak isn't a step back. It's a step in a different direction. You want to rebuild? You make space first. And Slot looks like a man with blueprints. If they pull off this Isak deal, it won't just be a replacement. It'll be a reset. So keep watching. If it all goes through, Liverpool lose a Colombian star and Bayern gain a player who can create something from nothing and maybe save a season that's full of questions. Diaz leaves with class, no scandal, no drama, but with the feeling that there's more to come, goals, tears, applause, just in Munich now. João Félix looks set for a surprising move, not to Lisbon, but to Riyadh. According to reports, Al-Nassr are preparing an offer worth over £40 million for the Portuguese forward. And that raises two obvious questions. How have Chelsea managed to pull this off, selling a player they were struggling to shift at all? And what exactly happened to the whole Felix to Benfica storyline? Just 24 hours ago, all signs pointed to a return to Lisbon. Multiple sources, including Fabrizio Romano, had João Félix all but confirmed as Benfica's marquee signing, but then Cristiano Ronaldo got involved. Yes, the Cristiano effect strikes again. According to insiders, Ronaldo personally recommended Félix reconsider, not because of footballing legacy, but because, well, who wouldn't want to play in a league where defenders don't press, the sun shines, and your paycheck is enormous? And just like that, Chelsea, instead of writing Felix off as another failed gamble, might actually turn a profit. Here's the maths. Chelsea paid Atletico £45 million for a loan plus option. Milan covered around £5 million in loan fees last year, now potentially another £40 million from Saudi Arabia. They may even break even or more. But let's be honest, does Felix still carry a £40 million valuation? In Milan, he wasn't even a guaranteed starter. He struggled for consistency, despite relatively weak competition for attacking spots. But Saudi Pro League clubs continue to act as a safety net for Europe's big spenders, paying top prices for players others have given up on. And this isn't just a sale, it's a hijacking. Benfica were preparing a return, fans were excited, even shirts were ready, but one call from Ronaldo changed the story. He reportedly told Felix, "Come join me. There's no pressure here, just goals, sun, and money." If the transfer happens, Chelsea's board deserve credit. Selling Felix now, for that fee, is a kind of financial alchemy. But if it collapses, Benfica will be back, only this time, offering a lot less.